Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry, 24/7 shopping available. 160920 is the code. Show her some love, like she showed us. K&A Custom Crafts on Facebook.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Entertainment Hour here on the Coast to Coast Network. I am Draken Viper, and right next to me is my co-worker. I'm sorry, I've been. I definitely need this vacation. But my co-host Crispy Bacon, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How's everybody doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm enjoying this vacation. I mean, granted, last night was the first night of my actual real vacation because, before that was my few days off. So, other than that, I'm doing good. Ready to talk about some movie, some actors and actresses and, a couple TV shows. So, we'll go ahead and get started on that. Now we're going to be talking about, the actor and actress that was chosen by a viewer. So I want to thank, Krista for that because, I appreciate it. But anyways, so our actor is going to be Kevin Hart. Now, Kevin Hart, is funny. He is definitely a comedian, and there's a couple facts in here that actually shocked me, but we'll get to that later. Anyway, so we're gonna go off the top 3 good movies of Kevin Hart. Go ahead and start off, Crispy.
Oh, I mean, there's a lot of good movies of his. One movie I can think of is Scary Movie. You also got Jumanji, and I would have to go with Ride Along, the second one.
Okay, yeah, I actually agreed with you on a couple of those. My top 3 good movies of his are Soul Plane. I enjoyed it. I mean, especially with Method Man in there and everything else. It was actually really I liked it. Scary Movie 3 and Ride Along 2. So, and in fact, I'll go ahead and start off with the top 3 bad. Jumanji, the newer ones with him, it's just like I mentioned about The Rock, and I didn't care for these movies. I mean, they should have just left it alone with the Robin Williams one and figured something else out or named it, Welcome to the Jungle or something. They definitely, kind of missed it when it came to the Jumanji movie. But anyway, the Jumanji movies, Death at a Funeral was, and Scary Movie 4. And the reason why I said Scary Movie 4 was because I liked him better in 3. I really did. He was a lot funnier, a lot better in 3. And so Scary Movie 4, he really didn't have, I didn't really care for him. I'll just stick with that. So, okay, go ahead and you name your top 3 bad.
I would have to agree with, Death at a Funeral and the second Jumanji, and then probably the last one I could think of is Hobbs and Shaw.
Oh yeah.
I'm a big fan.
Yeah, I didn't really care for that one either.
And
then of course, you have a movie, like Central Intelligence, with The Rock, Chris Rock, Kevin Hart and The Rock. And you see Kevin Hart standing next to The Rock. Huge difference, but again, I'll get to the height thing, later on. All right, now we're gonna go off our top 10, and the top 10 good movies are Think Like a Man, The Secret Life of Pets 2. What was that?
I was going to say that was a good one.
Oh, The 5-Year Engagement. Number 7 is About Last Night. Number 6, Central Intelligence. Number 5, The Secret Life of Pets, the first one. Number 4, Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. 3, This Is the End. 2, Top 5. And 1, Captain Underpants, the first epic movie. Yeah. See, out of the top 10, I have seen 2. I have seen Central Intelligence and I have seen Jumanji. And I have to say, those really do not belong. I mean, Central Intelligence is probably right where it should be. Jumanji definitely should have been down that list. Probably, 10, 11, 12. Again, didn't care for it. I mean, and the rest of it I haven't seen. What do you think?
I think it was a good list so far. I mean, you might have to move some around, but overall, I think it was a good list.
Yeah. Other than that, I didn't really, like I said, I hadn't seen much of it, so I don't know, exactly. I mean, granted, I'm probably going to have to watch more of it, but
right.
Anyway, so, and here's some facts about Kevin Hart. I mean, and here's something that I did not see that I was like, wait, what? No, he used to be a shoe salesman.
Really?
Yeah. Before he became a comedian and acting and all that, he actually was a shoe salesman, which I did not see whatsoever. Then he decided to quit so he can, work in comedy clubs. So that was a shock to me. And then, and here's something which I didn't know. He actually has a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame already. But it must be recently because I didn't even know that. And normally I hear when people get, the star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. But yeah, it was for live theater. So for acting, that's where they generally get theirs. The actors get theirs as live theater. Now here's something I didn't know. He used to get booed while on stage early in his career. Wow. So that is just prime example that perfect. It doesn't make perfect or perfect. Wow, I'm doing really well today.
You need a nap.
Oh, I hear Brandon.
Yeah.
I'm the voice of God today. I'm on location.
But anyway, practice makes perfect. There is no such thing as practice makes perfect, but it does improve your skill, and that's pretty much what Kevin Hart did. It improved his skill. But at first he used to get booed on stage, and someone actually threw a chicken wing at him while he was on stage. So I mean, it was that bad. I think back then, if they still had that hook like they used to on, he'd be hooked off the stage kind of thing. So, before I go on, do you happen to have a list there, Brandon, Big B?
We're talking about Kevin Hart?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, first off, I mean, Kevin Hart is, I think he's a funny guy, but I don't think he could be that superstar in a movie. So I like him as like in him and The Rock have done good together. Jumanji and oh god, what's that high school one that they were in together that they both were agents?
Central Intelligence.
Yes, that one. So I mean, so anything Kevin Hart's like more of a secondary role in, I've enjoyed more than when he's been, the head guy. And his comedy routines, are pretty funny. I don't know his earlier stuff, but but no, I think anything to do with him as a second guy, I think is more funnier than him being the leading guy. So
yeah, I agree. I mean, him being a lead guy, I just don't see it. I mean, I agree with that. As a secondary, absolutely. I mean, it's like look at Soul Plane. He was kind of the lead guy, but then you had Method Man there to help him out. So,
yep.
But anyway, so
I think him and The Rock work really good together.
They do, and they're best friends.
Yeah.
I mean, when Kevin Hart got in that accident a few years ago,
Rock reached out to him. Yep.
Yeah, Rock reached out to him. Rock was there in his hospital room, and I mean, they're best friends. So,
well, I think Kevin Hart's more afraid of anybody because he's like 4'5", so he looks up to everybody. So,
well,
so on October 10th of 2016, that is when he got his star.
Okay, so
2016
is when he got his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
That's about the time he became the big time movie guy. With all the roles he was doing, because it seemed like almost every few months he was coming out with a new movie. It seemed like him and The Rock.
Yeah,
he started in 2002.
Yeah, so. And then a few other things. He auditioned to be a cast of Saturday Night Live, but failed to make the cut, which is surprising because now he hosts a show from time to time, So for him to get cut from the original cast and now he hosts it once in a while, that says something right there. Says that Saturday Night Live doesn't know half the time what they're doing.
You're too funny.
But Saturday Night Live is more improv stuff, and I don't know if Kevin Hart's the improv type of guy. To go out there and be like, okay, here's a house and a chair, a table. Do something funny. I don't think he's that kind of guy. I think he needs to rehearse. And
yeah. Well, it's again, he'd have to have that star that main lead to help him out too. So now here's the height thing that I wanted to bring up. Kevin Hart, he's 5'4". The Rock
okay, so I had it backwards.
The Rock is 6'5". So I've seen pictures on Facebook and Instagram where Kevin Hart is literally standing there next to The Rock, and Kevin Hart looks like a child to The Rock.
Oh, yeah.
So, Kevin Hart is short. And the last fact that I didn't know about was he is deathly afraid of insects, even butterflies and grasshoppers.
Oh.
And the only way he had
have you seen him on the Jimmy Fallon? I think it's Jimmy Fallon, where they bring out a bunch of like different animals and he's just like flipping out and like running from them.
No.
Oh yeah, look it up. Jimmy Fallon on late night animals, and yeah, they'll bring out like a bird and a snake or something, and he's like, nope, you go touch that, not me. Nope. So, yeah.
And the Rock thought it'd be funny one time on the set of Jumanji to throw Kevin Hart a fake tarantula.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
And Kevin Hart ran screaming like a girl. So
So I got a fact about Kevin Hart. In 2017, he was a model for Macy's.
Yeah, I
So is
remember
that
that.
it? Okay.
But anyway, on his movie Jumanji, he literally had to face his fears to be in that movie. So,
Yeah.
and we got some comments here. Krista, poor Randolph. I don't know who Randolph is. Adam saying is Randy's favorite movie Rapunzel. We're not going to discuss that. Krista says that's where he gets his long hair. You guys, come on. Adam says exactly. Chris says so. He screams like you. All right, I'm gonna
Wow.
how can I turn these comments off? And then Adam says, Big B, since you're audio only, it's time for a voiceover. Hey, wait a minute now.
No, we gotta leave the voiceover stuff to Chris. Chris got some good voiceover when he does the countdowns and stuff.
There you go.
So, hey, and that's all I've got on. We're gonna have to do an episode Chris Rock because I keep trying to say Chris Rock when it's really Kevin Hart. Anyway,
Well,
that's all for
influenced
Kevin
by
Hart.
Chris
I
Rock.
got. What?
His comedies it is influenced by Chris Rock and
Oh yeah.
Eddie Murphy, Bill Cosby. So
Yeah. Big B, Chris, do you guys have anything else about Kevin Hart?
Wasn't maybe you guys can look it up for quick. Hold up. Wasn't Kevin Hart like in 40-Year-Old Virgin as a little cameo like before he started?
yeah,
Get big. Okay.
Yeah. He had a small cameo in that movie.
Yeah. Okay.
So, well, if nobody has anything else, I guess we'll go on to Halle Berry.
As
Really?
I'm just messing with
I
you.
was gonna say you don't like Halle Berry or something.
Before we really get into it, I respect her as an actress. No, I'm not like a huge fan of hers. I mean, I don't recall seeing her in many things, but I mean, she is a beautiful lady. She can act. I don't know. It's just something of, I guess it's just a role she's in, or maybe it's just the genre of a movie she plays. I'm just not a big fan of it. So.
Okay. Yeah, I think she's really good. I think she's really good at, in certain movies, and I mean some movies like action movies she's good in. More of the dramatic, serious, movies. I don't see her in. I mean, she's more of an action star. So,
yeah. Most of her movies are action.
Yeah.
And so we have a comment from Adam saying Catwoman. Yeah. Krista.
Oh, but she was. Oh, I didn't see it, but I've seen pictures. She was smoking in that outfit. I mean,
she was okay in it. Krista says, I love The Call. She does really good in that one. Adam says, yes, The Call was amazing. Brandon, do you have a top three? I can't see you, so I don't know if you have a list or not. Or...
No, I don't. Like I said, I've probably seen her in some movies, but I mean, I respect the actress, but she's just not one. She doesn't do it for me when it comes to drawing me to a movie.
Okay. Crispy Bacon.
Yeah, I mean, I've probably seen her in some stuff, but I know that X-Men she was in.
Yep.
A lot of action stars, Catwoman and robots.
Okay. And then my top three are The Call. Yes, I did put The Call as number one, so it was an amazing movie. X-Men: The Last Stand. I did like her in that movie, and Gothica. I thought she did incredible in that one. And Adam says Big B on this show is like Randy on Between the Ropes. Oh,
But I got more input than Randy does on Between the Ropes.
oh, okay. We'll see. I might have to change things. And then going off the top 3 bad list, I didn't think she did great in X-Men or X-Men 2. Monsters Ball, and the only reason, I mean, it's a dramatic movie, and I didn't think she worked well with Billy Bob Thornton, so I'd have to say Monsters Ball is another one, and the Flintstones. No, I don't see her in that kind of role, movie. So those, huh?
Oh, she was the secretary, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I didn't really care for her in that kind of movie too. Again, action is what I see her in. So
yeah, she can't play the comedy family role. I see her more of a sex symbol, action, drama. Yeah, I don't see her pulling off being in a family type show.
Yeah, I mean, you look at X-Men, Gothica, The Call, you have Catwoman, where it's all action. That's all it is. But then, of course, you've got like movies like The Flintstones and Monsters Ball, where she drops the ball because she doesn't do so well in those kinds of movies. Adam says Flintstones meet the Flintstones. Oh, he's okay. He's singing the theme song to that movie. Anyway, Chris, what are your top 3 bad ones?
I haven't really have any bad per se. I mean, maybe the non-action, movies. I'm like the Flintstones and all that, but
I mean, do you
really
agree? Do you agree with us that she would be better on action and like dramatic?
I do. I think she's more used in action movies than anything else, and maybe that's how she started out. But I see her more as an action star.
And we know how you are, Big B, about it. So I'm not even going to mention it.
I mean,
Chris,
out of her movies, without knowing
you got cut off there, Big B. Okay.
He's here. I can't hear him. There you go.
Okay.
Did I drop out there? I'm sorry, guys.
Oh, that's fine.
I said, you guys can hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. But no, I just think that, without knowing the list of movies are listed, I enjoyed the Flintstones. See how that could be one of her worst, because that's not her type.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
All right. So top 10 movies on here. Number 10 is Kevin Hart. What Now? I guess that's a movie. I never heard of it. 9 is Bulworth. 8 is Introducing Dorothy Dandridge. 7 is Jungle Fever. 6 is X-Men. 5 is Monsters Ball. 4 is X2 X-Men United. 3 is X-Men Days of Future Past. 2 is John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum. And 1 is Lost in America. So, yeah, I'd have to disagree with all that. I mean, I'm only disagreeing because on this list, I've only seen 3, 4. I've seen about 4 of the 10 movies in this, and Yeah, I don't really care. All of them, all the ones I've seen on this list should be, after 10. Oh wow. And I mean, do you guys agree? Well, I know what Big B thinks, but do you agree with this list, Chris? Or
The first two, I never heard of. The others I have. So, I mean, yeah, I agree with it.
okay, and that Krista says sing it about the Flintstones song. I'm not singing anything. And Adam says Randy is ready for karaoke. No, wait till tonight. I might be.
Oh,
But I was actually ready last night.
Do you got
What?
Randy? Do you got to get that liquid Do you got to get some of that liquid courage in you to sing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I had some last night, but I didn't think J Mac wanted me to do that on the show on Four Bros, so I just like I won't.
Well, that would have been something to hear you sing. That would have been something last night.
Oh yeah, I bet I probably would have too, but and then Krista says I disagree with all of them. Well, Krista, hey, you're the one that chose the actor and actress, so but whatever. Anyway,
Well,
actually,
I mean that's one thing with list is not everybody's going to agree with them. We all think we have a better list, but
yeah,
everybody's opinions are own.
well, you may have the same. You may have the same 10, but they may be in a different order.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, and Chris is like, "Well, you listened. Yeah, I did, and keep it up."
Randy's smart. He listens to the women.
Oh, I'm not going there. Anyway, going into some facts here. She did get into some legal trouble back in 2000. She, I guess, she left the scene of an accident when she ended up driving through a red light and hitting a car. She ended up paying. What?
That sounds like something you would do.
You know what? No, that kind of thing I would not do.
I wouldn't either.
I really wouldn't. She ended up with $13,500 in fines, 200 hours of community service, paid restitution, and that was pretty much it. So yeah, she pled no contest, but she still had to deal with all that. And then they knew about the accident because she showed up at the hospital with a gash in her head and on her forehead, or I think it was her forehead, and ended up with 20 stitches to close it up. And then she told them what happened, and that's how she ended up getting caught with that. She's a type 1 diabetic. She turned down a role of Annie Porter in Speed, which went to Sandra Bullock. She has trouble hearing in one of her ears thanks to an ex-boyfriend of hers and a confrontation they were in.
Wow.
She had a broken arm thanks to Robert Downey Jr. Because in the movie Gothica, he was supposed to grab her arm and twist a little. He accidentally twisted too much and broke her arm, so they had to stop production for 8 weeks. She turned down the lead female role in Geely, which led Jennifer Lopez, almost at Aniston, Jennifer Lopez to get the role, which ended up those two getting together. She smashed her head into a light set for the Catwoman movie, but wasn't injured. She's a klutz, I'm telling you.
Sounds like it.
She's known for. Now, I understand why some people would live their roles, like they're getting ready to, take on a role, so they want to live how that role lives, and that way it's easier to do the movie. But I'm sorry, but when you go 2 weeks without bathing, there's something wrong with that situation.
Yeah.
She refused to bathe for 2 weeks to prepare for a crack addict role in the movie Jungle Fever. So if you're not showering for 2 weeks for a role, maybe you shouldn't be living your role at that point.
But she should. I mean, not she, but a lot of people do that just to get the character accurate.
Well, and I understand that, but
Yeah, but you could go about different ways. Go stay on the streets, or get the first-hand view. I mean, like Chris said, everybody does their own thing differently. They learn the role and they try to portray that character. But yeah, I don't know if I could go 2 weeks and prepare for something and not shower. I don't know.
Yeah, I definitely couldn't. But and so I mean, I definitely couldn't do it, honestly. She received her star on the Walk of Fame in April 13th of 2007. She choked on a fig on the set of Die Another Day, James Bond movie, and Pierce Brosnan had to save her life. She auditioned for Tina Turner in What's Love Got to Do with It, but lost it to Angela Bassett.
Oh, wow.
She broke, and this is, again, she's a klutz. On September 21st of 2011, she broke her foot after tripping over a rock chasing her daughter, which she had to cancel her appearance on the Oscars because of that. She was considered the role of Selena on Men in Black 2, but it went to Laura Flynn Boyle instead. So, and then her decision to be a mother came on the set of Things We Lost in the Fire. That was her decision on when she chose to be a mother. So, and she had a kid at 41 years old. So, her first kid just shows you could be in your 40s, be female, and still have a kid. So, and that's pretty much all I have on her. Does anybody else have anything?
You know?
If I was her, I'd probably get some kind of protection insurance policy or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, bubble wrap her up, even on set, because obviously she still gets injured on set. So,
Seems
hey,
like it.
There you are. I'm here.
Yeah.
there you go. You're no longer a voiceover. Good job.
Yeah.
So that's all I have of her. And since somebody else has anything, we'll move on to our TV shows.
Okay.
First one will be Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Great show, 6 seasons, 148 episodes. Lasted from September 10th of 1990 to May 20th of 96. I wrote down some celebrities that showed up on there. Guest starred, which would be Bo Jackson,
Yep.
Heavy D, Malcolm Jamal Warner, Evander Holyfield, which I'm surprised that some of these people were on there because I've seen that show so many times throughout these years, and I don't remember some of these people being on here. Queen Latifah, Oprah Winfrey, of course, Tom Jones was on, because that's the one who sings the song when Carlton's dancing all the time.
Yep.
Hugh Hefner, Boyz II Men,
Yep.
Dick Clark, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Ken Griffey Jr., Jay Leno, Chris Rock, B.B. King, Jaleel White, Regis Philbin, William Shatner, and Gary Coleman are just some lists, you know.
That's quite a few.
Yeah.
And, you know, I really like this show. You know, there were some heartfelt moments in that show, which kind of made me, you know, as tough as I am, made me tear up. You know? This is a guy that is wanting to challenge Brock Lesnar to a one-on-one fight. So, you know, I'm tough. You know.
Okay, you're tough. All right.
But anyway, so yeah, there was some moments where I kind of teared up a little bit, you know. But and then facts. There were some facts about this. Will Smith was really shy. Didn't show it on camera, but he was really shy and insecure when he was around females. His current wife, Jada Pinkett Smith, tried out for Lisa, which was his on-screen girlfriend, and she was denied due to the lack of chemistry with Smith and the height difference, which is funny because 3 years later they end up married with kids. So, Alfonso, who is Carlton, he actually invented the Carlton dance.
Mhm.
You know, what was it? So, the script ended up saying, you know, Carlton dances, but wasn't real particular on what dance, you know, what to do. So, Carlton's dance was actually inspired by Eddie Murphy and his dance, as well as Courtney Cox, and in a music video she was in, and it was Bruce Springsteen's video that she was in. I just don't remember which video it was. The third, fourth, and fifth season finales were written to be the last farewell show. They didn't expect it to go 6, seasons. The sixth one was written definitely knowing it was not continuing, because NBC canceled after season 4. They didn't want any more of it. Well, fans letters and outreach and reactions made it to where NBC brought it in for another 2 seasons, and then it was ended when Jeffrey on the show said he wanted to quit his role and move back to the UK. So as soon as he said he was done, they're like, "Well, we're done too. We're not gonna go ahead and continue without him." Will Smith wanted more serious, dramatic shows during the seasons. He got that inspiration from emotional moments from Roseanne, which that kind of shocked me. I was thinking some other show, but Roseanne. And finally, Tia.
Roseanne back in that time was doing a lot of serious episodes, so.
Yeah, they were. But still, from Roseanne, I didn't expect that. And then finally, Tia and Tamara Mowry auditioned for Ashley, which they both lost it to Tatiana Ali. So those are some facts. Now we can talk about a little bit. Yeah, I really enjoyed the show. I mean, I don't know if you. I'm sure Big B has, but I'm not sure about Chris.
I've seen a little bit.
I was going to say, I don't know if you've seen all of it or a little bit.
A little bit I have.
Have you seen all of it?
I'm really surprised it was only 6 seasons. I thought it was longer than that, but
yeah.
I did too. I really did. I thought it was like 7 or 8, but
it was a good show. I mean, you take a kid, and you guys don't know a lot about me, but I live with aunts and uncles, and up with the father, so that show hit me personally, because it was just like, I mean, outside of the talent Will Smith had, I couldn't rap or play basketball, but moving around and moving in with aunts and uncles and cousins, not knowing the dad, it kind of hit me a little bit. So I think I was more attached to it because of that factor. But Randy, you talk about tearjerker moments. I had to fight the tears back, especially during the show when they brought his father in and
Yeah.
try to reunite them, and then towards the end, his dad's like, "Oh boy, I got to go and do this job, and then I'll call for you or something." And he calls him by his first name, Lou, and then he leaves, and then he yells at Uncle Phil, and then all of a sudden he breaks down and starts crying. So, yeah, that's probably one of the episodes I remember the most. So,
yeah, and it's still in my brain. I mean, even Facebook has people putting that little clip of him, going off on his uncle, and it's still in my head to this day.
I've also seen the clip of him in the empty house.
Yeah,
I've seen that a lot too.
Yeah, that was a definite. What, Big B? You're cutting out there, man.
That was the finale.
Yeah.
The finals. Yeah, wasn't it beautiful reunion on HBO or something in the house?
Repeat that because you were cutting out there.
Did they do a episode, a special reunion show in the house about 2 months ago or about a year ago?
I believe so.
I think they did with yeah. Yeah, 'cause I remember because there's a clip there where he explains why they changed Aunt Vivian, and they actually had their her and Will sat alone for about minutes and kind of talked about what they were going through and what happened, and then he brought her onto the reunion show. So,
I think it was like a one.
But of course, yeah, it was a one-on-one, I think, and then they did a little thing. But it would have been nice to have Uncle Phil around, but we know he passed away a few years ago. So,
yeah.
And I do recall something about Will making comments about how Uncle Phil, I can't think of the actor's name right now, was like a dad to him. So, because he never knew his dad. So,
yeah. Avery, his last name's Avery, but yeah, I remember
William Avery, that's right.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that, and that special reunion was actually last year on HBO. So, November 19th of 2020. So,
just right around the corner. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a really good show, and I did hear about Will mentioning that he felt like Avery was his dad, was a dad to him. I kind of wanted to, watching that show, I kind of wanted to be like Will Smith on that show when I was growing up, because he was cool, he was funny.
You got too much hair.
But my hair's never been this long, so at least as long as it is now. It's been long. It wasn't long in school because my parents wouldn't let me. But I wanted to be that cool guy, I can't rap worth anything, but
I can't either.
But I play sports. I played sports and all that. So I kind of wanted to be like him though, and never got a chance to be like him. But dang it. I mean, is there anything you?
No kidding.
Yeah.
So Viper, I got a question for you because I know Chris is a little young for this, but who do you think was cooler growing up? Will Smith as Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, or Zach Morris as Saved by the Bell?
Man, I'd have to say Zach.
And Chris, you can answer too if you say. Zach was cooler. Okay, I kind of
I
gotta
would
go
have
with
to agree
Will. I
with
think
that,
Yeah,
I mean, we talked about both of them, and they both had a smooth character to them. So
I'd say Zach only because he was smoother and he had that way of talking where the girls would listen and pay more attention and I would say Zach only. I mean, I actually wanted to be like Zach more than I did Will anyway. So
not
yeah.
even with
there's
Butler
a
in the
Halloween
house?
costume for next year.
Not even because he had a butler, Will Smith.
No. Being rich didn't mean anything to me. It was about the
No.
way to present myself. On the ways to be pick people up. Pick females up and talk to them and things like that. Had nothing to do with butlers or money or anything like that. So, because honestly, I don't think money, all that money, buys you females or anything like that. It's the way you talk to them. It's the way you're smooth and you come in kind of thing. But yeah, I wanted to be more like Zach growing up, and
Okay, I got you.
So, is there anything else anybody wants to mention about the show before we move on to our final show?
No.
No, I think we covered, that show was pretty fun. So yeah, I think we covered it pretty good.
Okay, and now we're gonna move on. Have you seen the Jeff Foxworthy show, Big B?
It ran a couple of years. I've seen it off and on.
Yeah.
You're talking about the TV show because didn't he have another little him and Larry the Cable Guy and those guys had like a little comedy show too?
Yeah,
but you're actually talking about the Jeff Foxworthy show.
That show.
Yeah, but
that show that you're talking about, it was Blue Collar TV.
Okay, but you're actually talking about the one where he was a father and had the wife and kids. They were what was the job he had? He was a construction guy, wasn't he? Or
he worked at the shipping docks.
Loading dock. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I caught some of that. I mean, Jeff Foxworthy is a funny guy. I mean, I think Bill Engvall was on that show a few times, and yeah, no, it was a matter of fact, I just saw that on Hulu or Netflix earlier this summer. I think I watched some of those episodes.
Yeah, it was.
Isn't that where he got his start?
No. He had his start way before that.
Oh, okay.
He was a comedian way
before.
He
was a comedian way before he was yeah.
So I think in like the early 80s. But he didn't really come out till with You Might Be a Redneck If around 90 something. Like late 80s.
I think he started getting popular when he started appearing in some of Alan Jackson's videos for some of his songs he did. Or he made a video and had Alan Jackson in there. He did a partnership with Alan Jackson, I know that.
Yeah, that was that between that and his or You Might Be a Redneck If is what got him started. His very first music video though was You Might Be a Redneck If, and that's when it started snowballing into him being partnered up with Alan Jackson and a few of Alan Jackson's videos. Yeah. And then around the same time is when he had his show. In fact, with his show, it was canceled because of ratings, and NBC thought, well, ABC and I think NBC too, considered his routine too southern for a national network. And it was based in, one of the seasons was based in Indiana. So they decided to go ahead and cancel the show. But
I bet they're looking back on, we should have kept it.
yeah, I think, I mean, it's like,
I mean, they got good shows now, but
there was 2 seasons and only 41 episodes, and both those 2 seasons, one being on ABC, one being on NBC. The show ran from 95 to 97. So from September 12th of 95 to May 5th of 97, which wasn't even fully 2 years.
yeah.
I mean, there were times like, and I did watch I still do to this day. I watched this show, and there's a certain point in, especially the first season, where I think I want to say towards the last 5 episodes, I think 4 or 5 episodes, that it does kind of become dull. There's a point where his on the first season, he's an electrician, an electrician, and has his own company, and I believe he's an electrician, something along those lines. And then when you hit, I want to say episode 10, 11, his business fails, and that's where it becomes kind of dull and boring. I mean, you got Jay Moore in there as the on-screen Jeff's brother, and I don't know, it just seemed dull at that point. So I mean, and then the second one, the second season, I thought it was good, but it wasn't great. There were a few great episodes, but other than that, wasn't really good. So I could see where they're saying, I think Jeff Foxworthy's amazing, honestly. I really do. But it just I don't know what it was. It just second one, like I said, had great episodes, but not all of them were great. So I mean, that's my rant on that show.
No, it was a good rant. I mean, you're right. I mean, it was like hit or miss. I would say half the shows are good, half the shows are bad. Wasn't Captain Harris his father and played his father in the seasons? Is Jeff Foxworthy's father, or was it his father-in-law?
Must
I think
have been
it
his
was.
father-in-law,
But anyway,
because G.W. Bailey, I believe, played his dad. If that, yeah.
okay,
G.W. Bailey,
must have been his father-in-law.
yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. Where is Dakin Matthews? Dakin Matthews was his father-in-law.
Okay.
So,
no, I mean, it was a good show. I mean, they just, I think they just couldn't find a happy medium with his style of comedy and national TV. I think he kind of touched on a little bit there, Viper, that, it was just a little southern. But now I think if they would bring it back, I think it would catch on more because everybody knows who he is and, what kind of comedy he does. So it might score better ratings nowadays than it did back in the 90s.
well, and I think what, and I'm looking up there's not really much information about the show, but I am looking it up, and at one point at the very end, at the very end of season 1, the last episode, when it went from ABC to NBC, there were changes that were made between those two shows. Like, for example, the very last episode on the first season, they had a baby girl. Then all of a sudden, when you go to season 2, they have a son.
Yes.
And I mean, it's like, really?
I bet fans were like, "What?"
Yeah, you guys had a baby girl, and then all of a sudden you go to the second season, and instantly you have a son, and he's like 7 years old or 8 years, seven, I think 7 years old, and it's like, really?
If Twitter
Yeah,
was around
there
back
was
then,
definitely some
Facebook-
different. Yeah, there was definitely some misleading. That's why I think season 1 and season 2 were like totally two different shows with the same cast almost. I mean,
Yeah,
they could have called it two different shows. I mean, kind of like we talked about it last week or the week before. Tim Allen, Home Improvement, and
mhm,
Last Man Standing.
yeah,
Kind of the same. Yeah, kind of the same concept, but two different shows. That's kind of what they should have did with this, and that's probably why they couldn't get ratings either. Is because when they moved networks, they totally changed a few things up that were noticeable. So
social media would be outraged if they had it back then.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's like, and then it's like, one episode they're doing fine in India. The first, or not episode, but the first season, they're doing fine in Indiana. They're doing fine. Nothing's wrong. They don't even talk about moving to Georgia. Then all of a sudden, the second season, they're moving to Georgia, or they're in Georgia, and have been living there a while. And it's like, wait a minute, why are the house is different? Why is everything different? What did we miss? Why did they move to Georgia? What there's no middle deal there. So
they could have done.
Didn't one episode they had like a tornado come through and tear up their house and stuff like that?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
it was the final episode of the second season.
Oh, the second season. Okay, yeah, because I remember, and I thought it was one of the funniest lines. He goes upstairs, opens up to go get the insurance policy, and he's like, "Babe, where's the insurance policy?" She says, "It's on the kitchen counter." "Babe, where's the kitchen counter at?" And the house is all gone.
Yeah, actually the line is, "Where's the policy?" "Upstairs, honey."
Yeah.
"Where's the upstairs?"
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I thought it was kitchen counter. Yeah.
And so but yeah, I mean that was funny, but that was the very last episode of the last season, and it's like, okay, well, did they move out of Georgia? Did they? I mean, there's so many unanswered questions, and that show, last aired in I said like 98 or something like that, and it's like, that's one of the problems with the show. They changed things. They didn't explain things. They didn't, and in the first one, it's when Jeff owned his own heating and air condition shop. That's what it was.
Yes, that's what it was. Yep.
But yeah, so then he goes from owning his own business, which is heating and air conditioning, to working on the docks and being a manager of the docks. It's like,
fired?
No. I think they sold the air heating and air conditioning. I think it was in season 1.
They got bought out.
Yeah, bought out, sold, same difference.
Yeah, they got bought out.
Yeah.
So, but no, there's just, I mean, with this show, I really like this show, but it's just, I mean, they have a different mother in there. The only two that survived both seasons is Haley Joel Osment and Jeff Foxworthy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only people that went and survived both shows. But they said at the very end of the first season, "Oh, we have a girl, we have a baby girl," and then next season it starts off with a boy, and just way too many questions, too many problems with that episode.
Mm-hmm. See, I don't like shows like that.
Huh?
I don't like shows like that where you don't know what happened from one to the next.
I mean, now if they did like a episode that was, or a season was in between, You know, why they moved to Georgia, why they, you know, what happened with the boy being a girl or whatever. Maybe they could come up with something, or,
Yeah.
you know, something like that. But, you know, like Jeff was too excited that he thought he heard girl, but it was actually boy. You know, who
Mhm.
knows?
Okay. Yeah.
But,
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
um,
Different
but yeah,
storyline.
it's just, but now it's too far apart, too far in time to try and correct that and fix it. So, other than that, that's
One second.
pretty much all I've got on that show.
Yeah, no, that's what I got too. What like we said, it was two different shows with the same name and stuff. It just didn't work. And they tried it again. They tried it too about the same time with the Cosby Show. I think it was. It was the Cosby Show. And then they came back as what was the spinoff? Cosby, I think. I think it was a Cosby Show, the Cosbys, and it was the same concept, but they went from being doctors to I can't remember. It didn't last too long. So when they do that, they really mess with the fans' views on shows and stuff. So
Yeah. Well, supposedly they're saying the spinoff is a different world.
well, yeah, but I remember.
I know what you're
I'll have to
talking
do some
about.
research. Yeah, I'll have to do some research because it was the Cosbys and a different
yeah.
world, and then they brought. Yeah, and then they
Cosby.
brought back. Yeah. Yeah, and they spun it off totally different, and it was just like unwatchable, kind of, so
But yeah, and that's pretty much all I have about, that show, the Jeff Foxworthy show. Is there anything else about any of these topics today that you want to go and talk about before we
what
end
was
this?
I missed it. What was Kevin Hart's top movies? Your
Top
list.
10?
Yeah.
Yeah, let me get that for you. The top 10 list was Think Like a Man, The
Okay.
Secret Life The Secret Life of Pets 2, The 5-Year Engagement, About Last Night, that's number 7. Number 6 is Central Intelligence. Number
Wow,
5,
that was only number 6.
number 5, The Secret Life of Pets. Number 4, Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. Number 3, This Is the End. Number 2, Top 5. And number 1, Captain Underpants, the first movie.
He was in Captain Underpants. Wow.
Yeah, I never
I remember
watched
reading the book. I never saw the movie, but
I've
remember
seen.
reading the book.
My son
Sure.
kind of got into that, but I didn't realize he was in both Secret Life of Pets.
Yeah,
I'll have to go watch that. See if I can pick him out. I knew he was in the second one. I don't recall him in the first one. I'm actually surprised. Central Intelligence is in the middle there. I figured it would have been up higher.
I think he was an evil. He was an evil rabbit.
Was he the evil rabbit? Okay, I'll have to check that out and see. So, no, that was a good list. I mean, I've seen some of those movies, so I can't argue that one.
So, I mean, I had agreed with you on that, where Central Intelligence should have been a little higher. Yes, Kevin Hart is Snowball.
Yes.
Snowball. Okay.
So
Gotcha.
I just looked it up.
All right.
Never seen it, so I don't know. So, is there anything else you guys want to talk about these topics before we go?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. Well, then we got 30 to 45 seconds each person. Say what you want. Crispy, let's start with you.
Thank you guys for watching, tuning in, interacting with the show. We all enjoy that. Tonight is Sports Minute. We're talk about World Series and whatever else happened in sports, and then tomorrow morning we have the morning tailgate, and then depending on how Halloween and all that, Between the Ropes.
No.
Between the Ropes.
No.
So just morning tailgate tomorrow.
All right. Thank you, Chris P. Bacon, Big B.
Yeah, thanks for everybody commenting. Sorry I missed the first few minutes, running a little bit behind on things. Yeah, keep joining us tonight. You know, we get to see what kind of funny lines Isaiah could say, because it seems like he has a funny moment every time. You know, kind of like Dragon Viper on Between the Ropes, which we'll miss. Yeah, join us tomorrow. Morning tailgate. We'll break down a little bit of the Thursday game. Do our weekly picks. Chris with his history lesson, our lowdown, mess around, and then my big baller. So can't wait for all that stuff. And again, happy Halloween to everybody. Be safe. You know, Viper, next time, make sure we take the mask off so we don't scare the kids, you know, on the show. So with that being said, have a good day, guys.
All right, and I want to thank everybody, Krista and Adam for commenting. I work with both of them, so I could just imagine that they're kind of, gonna laugh at me at work, but who knows? But I want to thank everybody for watching and for the comments and Between the Ropes will not be airing tomorrow night due to Halloween and some of the people on the show are going to be trick or treating with their kids. So everybody, have a happy. What was that? Big B, you froze.
With your flip flops and your scooter and your riddle shirt,
You should.
your leopard skin underwear, go around as Riddle.
Nope, I don't have that shirt anymore anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Okay.
I gave it to my mom. She's got it. She was wearing it yesterday. So, but anyway, so I want wish everybody a happy and safe Halloween, and we'll see you again tomorrow morning on the morning tailgate. Everybody have a good day.
Peace out.